If you, your family, your friends, or your kids have anything to do with your in-app purchases and the fact that those prices are skyrocketing, I'm going to give you the tools to deal with that issue. This is TQA Weekly. I'm your host, Steve Smith, aka Z-Axis, and today we are going to be talking about how to restrict in-app purchases done on an iOS device like an iPod Touch, of course, iPad, or iPhone. Now, I know I normally don't talk about iOS devices. I've done it once before, and it was to get it to work again. And basically, it's because I don't have a Mac to show you with this. You don't see any in here. I'm strictly a PC and Linux guy anyway. And because there are so many people talking about apps anyway all over YouTube, Blip.tv, iTunes, everywhere. So why would I want to go into that? My specialty is finding solutions to problems. I'm a problem solver. TQA Weekly is based on the premise that that's exactly what I know to do. You ask me questions at ask@tqaweekly.com and I respond to them through here. Whether you want to be anonymous or not is your choosing. So today, the issue is, how do I restrict in-app purchases so that it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg or more? Because people sometimes, they're either themselves have little self-control or they have friends, families, and kids that do it, whether with or without permission or a combination of many different factors. So I'm going to give you the solution. So I'm obviously going to have to read because there is a specific sequence. So go get your favorite iOS device right now. You can pause the video. Doesn't bother me. Now, the restriction feature is actually buried in iOS. It's not a separate application. You don't download anything. You get it when you have an iOS device. So you have to go to the settings icon or application if you prefer. Then you go to general, scroll down to restrictions, which is part of auto lock and the passcode lock cluster, that trio that hangs out together. And you'll enable restrictions and you'll see that you have the ability to disallow and allow, but that's not what we're looking at. You go straight down, head down to the bottom of the page to allowed content and turn off in-app purchases. While you're down there, set up the PIN and the timing that you want for the lockout for the PIN. Now, what this will do is next time somebody, even with the correct password, tries to buy anything from within a game, because that's what counts here, it's within a game, it won't work. It'll either hang, which is the equivalent of crashing and not doing anything. It doesn't quite crash, anyway, or it'll just deny. It all depends on the application developer, and if they did it correctly, their application, it should just auto-deny, and that's it. If they didn't, you will notice really fast when it doesn't do anything. Of course, this will give you the time to figure out somebody's trying to do something, and you can deal with whatever consequence you want. On a different note, there are two other things you can deal with, because this trick only affects the in-app purchases, and you still have two wide open bullseyes on your iOS device. One being the iTunes Store, and the other one is the App Store. So what do? The blocking of the in-app purchase does not block the actual stores. You can still use the credit card that's attached to your account or the iTunes card that's inside the account. There are a few things you can do. And by a few, I mean a couple. One is you go into your iTunes account and you suppress the entry for your credit card. Just hit no card and that's it. Remember to hit save, of course. And your credit card disappears, but again, iTunes cards stay, they're not affected by this. And that solution is change your password. It's incredibly free and easy to do. Yes, I know. But here's the thing. Do not give that password to the people you don't want downloading. You should always enter that password yourself. That way, they're only purchasing things when you want. Now, if you change your password and nobody knows it, you don't even need to use the restrictions. They can't buy anything within the application. So that's just getting my point across. Now, I'm just going to give you a tiny heads up. I am working on Project Ghost to get members to basically have a member area that works seamlessly within a website, allows you to set up themes and the way the pages and the content you want and all that. I'm going to be launching the new themes for my website in this week. And the new themes are codenamed Snow and Ruby, and you're going to get Spring Green and Blue Frost. And Snow and Ruby are basically white and red. Backgrounds for all the text will be white. The themes only affect the header and the footer. So just so you know in advance, they only affect those two pieces. From now on, you're going to get a wider screen, 1400 pixels across wide, so more space. Bigger fonts from now on, so easier to see. I dropped the fonts thing. But, you know, if you are hard of sight, you can always email me and I'll give you a hook and it will make all the fonts bigger. But at the end of the day, basically, you're going to get a better looking website that I've shown to quite a few people and they like it so far. It's a lot cleaner, a lot easier to use, and anybody using a screen that is inferior to 1400 pixels, well, don't worry about it. Everything on the right is only important once. Once you join the newsletter and subscribe to my Twitter feed and my Facebook feed or my YouTube channel and all that, you don't really need to go back there. All the important information is on the left and the center. I make it a point to design my websites in that fashion. So you have a narrow version, the standard version, and you have the wide one, which is made for 1600 pixels and wider screens. This is so that you get a nicer looking screen with not too much margin on either side. That's why I'm designing it this way. That's why I'm making it look better. That's why I've increased the font, and that's why I've been able to make a better website. Soon you'll get a search engine, you'll get the ghost mode, which is for members, and on top of all that, you'll also have access to a ad-free version of the website for a minimal fee. Of course, that is going to be optional, and for those that are interested in that specific detail, all the transactions are going to be done by PayPal, so none of the credit card information is ever going to be touching my website, so you're going to be saved there. And even though I'm restricted to SHA or SHA-1 or MD5, which I personally absolutely loathe on my server, and I'm still waiting for the upgrade, I will be using that, one of those or both at the same time, using a variable salt, a fixed salt, and encrypting the field for the password, so just basically to throw everything that I can at it so that everything gets encrypted, and if I can encrypt all the data fields at the same time, I will. So that I'll try to make as secure as I can without having to resort to an SSL. Yeah, I know. SSL would be cool, but that is kind of expensive for me considering it's a free show. So for those that are a torrent fan, by the way, you can download every single episode since a few weeks ago using the torrent links on my website. So any episode that's available for torrent download, you head over to the website and click the torrent download link. It will give you the video in your favorite torrent client. In the future, you're going to be getting a torrent RSS feed, which means it will auto-download the newest episode. Next week, I'm dabbling in LastPass and password management tricks and solutions. I'll explain the best way to manage your passwords, how to create better passwords, basically, and how to make LastPass really secure, because there's actually a way to do that. So until next week, remember to like, share, and subscribe to TQA Weekly for more information like show notes, mailing lists, TQA Weekly branded gear and apparel, our Android application, weekly survey, and so much more. Head over to tqaweekly.com. Stay safe and online. Have a great day. Goodbye.